The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a ceiling legend. And your book covers the steps we just went over as far as tagging items. And it also walks you through creating a ceiling plan legend. So use this as a reference as well. A ceiling plan legend is basically going to take the shape that we've used for the light fixture and explain what it is as it goes through. Um, so we are going to do this. The first thing you'll do is you'll come up to the View tab and click on that to open it. And then there is an option for legends. There is also an option for schedules, and these kind of look similar. They can be confusing, but they are very different in Revit as far as how they function. So make sure we're choosing legends. Click the drop down and you're going to choose legend again. Let's rename it to RCP Legend. And then for the scale, let's change that to 1/8 inch because that's your standard commercial design scale. And we're working on an office example for this, and then hit OK. So it's going to open a new tab. Under your project browser, if you scroll down to where you have legends and hit the plus button, you'll now see that's where your RCP legend is. So we're going to draw this. So you're going to, again, come to your annotate tab. And right under there, you should have a button that says detail line. So you want to click on that. And this is going to allow you to draw lines very similar to the way AutoCAD works. So as you draw it, it's going to give you a dimension. Oftentimes you'll have to come back and adjust this. So we'll just start, we'll start with 10 feet. So your lighting fixtures are going to come into scale. So all of this is to scale, that will show up. So we know that we have a 2 foot by 4 foot troffer light. So that's kind of where I picked my 8 feet off of. I might still have to adjust it. And then I'm going to come down, or 10 feet, sorry. We'll just make this a square. We'll come down another 10 feet. Come up to finish it. And then we're also going to create like a line for the header. So let's do 1.5 feet and put that. So that's kind of our basic starting point. Now, to get our lighting fixtures in, we're going to come to Project Browser. And again, anytime if you want to get out of the tools you're in, if you click on the Modify button, that gets you out of it, okay? So under Project Browser, you're going to scroll all the way down to where it says Families. And if it's, you may need to open it up, so it may look much smaller. So you'll click the plus button, and you're going to scroll down until you find the Lighting Fixtures family and open that. And this, mine are open, but yours will probably be closed, but it's going to include any lighting fixtures that you have included in the drawing. So for instance, we'll open the troffer light. You're going to want just a 2 by 4 as it goes through. There are several different options. So you want to make sure that you pick the one you have actually placed in there. So if I come back to my partition plan and click on this, it's going to tell me that I have the 2 by 4, 2 lamp, 120 volt. Okay, so now I can come back to my RCP legend, make sure I'm getting the 2 by 4, 2 lamp, 120 volt. You can always adjust this if you need to see it more. You're going to highlight this and then you're going to click and drag it over. Okay, so this will show up. So you can see it's a good thing I put it the size that I did. Most likely I'm going to have to adjust it again for writing, but we'll get to that. All right, and then just place that. You just need one of them. Next, I'm going to do my linear 2 lamp pendant. So again, you can go back over here, check and see I did the 2 lamp 48 inch 120 volt. So 48 inch 120. I'm going to drag this over and place it. And I'll do the same thing for each one. Okay, so you'll check it, make sure it's the right one, and place it as you go through. Give it some space, but you may have to adjust it. So once you have these, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to put a text description in here. So still under annotate, you're going to come over to your text button, click on that. Over here under properties, before you click and do anything over here, it comes in a 1/4 inch Arial. We want to change that to 3/32 inch. And this is because our scale, we've put it at 1/8 inch as we go through. Now I can click this. It's going to open a text box. And I'm going to keep this simple and just call this a 2x4 troffer light. And then I will just click the mouse off to the side afterwards. If you hit enter, it's going to start a new line. I'm not going to worry about lining these up, moving them just yet. I can see that I'm probably going to have to adjust it. I'm just going to keep naming my items. I'm going to call this one a 4-foot linear light. And again, you can see this dashed blue line. You should see that shows up to make sure all of your text lines up. My next one, we're just going to keep it simple and call it a pendant light. And then lastly, and it's okay if I'm outside of my lines, I'll show you how easy it is to move it. We're going to call this a 6-inch recessed light. Okay. And then lastly, we're going to title it RCP Legend up here. All right. So now I'm going to go to modify again to get out of that. And this will let me make any adjustments I need. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my RCP Legend that I just did. You can see up here, there is the little move symbol. And if I stay on it, it says drag. So I'm going to use that just to kind of position my RCP Legend text so that it's within these lines. The next thing I'm going to do is I know that this needs to move over. So I'm going to click on that line. It turns blue. As I hover over it, I'm going to get the move symbol. I'm just going to click it and drag it far enough that it will allow everything to show. Okay, everything stays attached. So it's really simple to work through that. Then I'm going to do the same thing to the bottom one as it goes through. And then I'm going to do for my light fixtures, again, same thing. I'm going to move these down so they line up. Shift this one up just a little bit, but make sure that everything lines up with the text so that it makes sense as someone is reading it. And this one we're going to shift up just a little bit. Okay. After I've done that, I may come back and decide that I want to move this over some more. You can, when you've chosen this, you can work with your alignment, but all it's doing is within the text box. So it's not going to align it within your like I think your lines that you have here as you go through. Okay. So that will create a very standard RCP legend.